Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm gonna burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump continues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you. Better Off Dead. This is the NFL Week 1 edition. I've got my Colts jersey on as I'm still a Colts fan, unfortunately. I'm more neutral on the Patriots now, at least. The team that I stopped rooting for back in the day after they got Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, because I hate those guys. I started rooting for Peyton Manning, so we got the Colts going on, man. Let's win something for Jim Irsay this year, man. Even though don't like the dude at all, but maybe the Colts will play like a decent season in honor of him because he died. We had a big card today, and we went 5-2-1. It was a winning day. It was a pretty good day. I wish it was better than it was. We went 3-1 in college football. It could have been 4-0, man. Just to rehash it. I might rehash it in the morning too. I said I was going to do that this morning, but for the previous day, but I don't think I did because I think I deleted the banners from this thing. But Troy plus 31, easy win for us today, man, against Clemson. I mean, Troy was winning the game 16-0. It should have been 17-0. I don't know what they did. They missed an extra point or something because they had a pick 6. It was just ridiculous. They were up 17-0, I think, or 16-0, excuse me, in the second half. They wound up blowing the lead. It looked like they might get an outright win in that game. That didn't happen, but it was an easy cover from Troy. I don't know what the final was. I think they lost 27-19. Is that what it was? Maybe I'm wrong about that. I forget. Might have been, I don't know, 29-16, whatever the fuck it was. I don't know. Rutgers got there. That was getting a little bit dicey. It was like they were constantly up by like 10, 14. They pushed the lead up above 14-17 a couple of different times. They kept letting Miami, Ohio kind of slip back in there, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, shit. It's like whatever it was. I think it was 27-17 again at one point, but then Rutgers was able to run away with it at the end, and they did wind up covering by multiple scores when it was all said and done. They actually put up 40-something points by the end of it, so we got the win on that one. And Miami, Ohio just fizzled out at the end. I think the final in that one was 45-17, maybe. I don't know. I might be getting that wrong, something like that. Middle Tennessee, I thought we were going to get that cover against Wisconsin. They were down by 4 at halftime. They were only down 14-10. It was looking pretty good. Like, yeah, this is going to be a fairly low-scoring game. They're going to hang in there. They did not. They wound up just getting blown out of the stadium in the second half, basically, and they lost the game. They were still only like a few points off from covering, though. They lost, what was it? I think it was 42-17, I don't know, something in that range, 42-17, something like that. I know one score would have put them within the number, and they just couldn't get it done at the end. It looked like they were on the verge of potentially scoring just to backdoor the cover there, and Wisconsin not caring, but I think they turned it over or something. And then we had Louisiana Tech. That was a cover, I believe. What was the final in that one? I didn't even see it, but I know LSU just wasn't scoring a lot of points at all in that game. Last I saw, it was 20-0. So our man Kukoc or whatever his name was didn't get it done for us, but it wound up 23-7 was the final. So LSU didn't even score. Kukoc is his name, Trey Kukoc. He got us not a great game for me. He wasn't terrible. I mean, they just couldn't really move the ball, but LSU didn't really do a whole lot in the game. They didn't even score enough points to cover the 37.5. They only scored 23. So obviously they were never going to cover that. And then in baseball, we went 2-1-1. We got the first one right, kicked off the day, unfortunately, with the Yankees' first 5. That was a winner. I think they won the game, too, which I don't like because I'm a Red Sox fan. Mets Cincinnati, that one got dicey early. It was like 4-1 early, and then it looked like it was going to actually happen. It was like, all right, it's still low scoring later into the game, but then the bullpens kind of messed it up, and it wound up pushing on the 9. It landed exactly 9. I think it might have been a 6-3 final. I don't know, I forget, but it landed exactly on the 9. So that was a push. That one could have been a win. So, like, every loss that we had was kind of bullshit today, man. Every loss and push. We won on Baltimore and the Dodgers under in the first 5. That was a low-scoring game. I don't know if it was 2-1 at the end of 5. I forget. It might have been lower than that. It might have been 1-0. I don't remember what it was, but it got there, and then I actually think Baltimore was getting no hit late in that game, actually. So I don't think it was 2-1, whatever it was. But Baltimore wound up winning the game with a walk-off after they were almost no hit in the game. Dodgers not playing good baseball, man. But we got the under right early in the game, first 5 innings. I think full game went under, too. So if you did that, that also was a winner. And then Houston, Texas fucked it up for us as that was a 1-0 game through 5, so that would have been first 5 under 3.5. That would have been a winner in the first 5, which I said I almost wanted to do that because I was worried about Houston's bullpen, and Texas's bullpen is what fucking killed us in that game. That game, I'm pretty sure that game was still 3-0 in the 8th inning, so it was like, all right, this is definitely going under. Houston scored 3 more runs, so then it was 6-0 going into the 9th inning, so it's still under the 7. It's like, all right, just finish the game off, guys. No, Houston scores 5 more runs in the top of the 9th inning. I'm pretty sure Houston scored 8 runs in the last 2 innings of the game to put that thing over the 7 when it was way under. So I'm obviously pissed about that. I'm pissed about these bullpen implosions. And that would be Texas, the more rested, better bullpen. I was worried about Houston's bullpen, and Houston shut Texas out. And I pointed out how Texas had allowed 3 or fewer earned runs to opponents in 70% of their home games. That did piss me off, man. I did just delete those from the banners. I'm just, maybe I won't rehash it again. So if you want some of my rehashes on, while we're in football season, you might have to watch my football show for it. But that's just the way that it is. Curtis, what's up, man? This is Indianapolis Colts. It's Jonathan Taylor here, number 28, man. Running back. I actually have him on my fantasy team. And last time I had him in fantasy, I won 2 fantasy leagues that I had him in that huge year that he had a couple of years back. So hopefully he does it again for me, man, because I'm going to fucking lose in fantasy just because I lost Worthy this week already. Like, come on, man. But Jonathan Taylor's my top running back on my team in that main league, so hopefully it works out for me there. Nate, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. I do have a Peyton Manning Colts jersey somewhere, too, but this is my more modern Colts jersey. I don't have my old jersey. I think they're at my parents' house somewhere, like stored away somewhere. Although I could have tried to find it because I was actually there earlier today. I believe I have the BYU football game on right now. It's whatever's on ESPN right now. It's not an interesting game, but I always have something going behind me here, man. Yeah, I hate the Patriots, or I did, because I hate Belichick and Brady. I love Peyton Manning, so I became a Colts fan. I'm kind of neutral on the Patriots now, though. Like, I don't really hate Mike Vrabel. I hate Josh McDaniels. Holy shit, dude. I'm telling you, you can't hear that probably because of my directional mic. But we have people, it's 12:30 at night, 12:30 a.m. We have people revving their fucking engines outside. I fucking hate it, dude. Like, it's a residential area. We have kids in this area, people trying to sleep. Like, it's so fucking annoying. Like, those people should, like, they should be arrested, man. Like, you should be able to take, like, vigilante action against these people. I'm not kidding. Like, you should be able to stop them from revving their engines like that. I absolutely fucking hate it. Anyway, we got to get into the NFL, man. NFL, I talk about every single NFL game, so we're 1-0 in the NFL already on the show because I gave out Dallas on Thursday night, so we got that win, Dallas plus the 8.5. Maybe you might say that the stupid lightning delay, excuse me, helped us out there, but Dallas was in that game anyway, so I don't know. I think it would have gone Dallas's way as far as covering either way. Nice. I mean, there's a chance I might start kind of rooting for the Patriots again, but they got to get rid of Josh McDaniels. I hate that guy. Get rid of that fucker. But lightning delays, by the way. If you were watching college football today, I was like checking like what was going on with my games that I had when I had the Rutgers game and the Clemson-Troy game. Both went into lightning delays at the same time. There were at least like 7 lightning delays in college today. Like, this was never a fucking thing. Like, I'm so pissed. Dude, this is just like the new era. You saw me tweeting about it probably. Like, how could you have all these lightning delays when it's football? You're supposed to just play through fucking weather. Like, suck it up, play the game. This has never been a thing before, man. And all of a sudden, half the college football games are all delayed. You have NFL games, the first real game of the season, getting delayed for like an hour. Like, people are not going to sit there waiting for an hour for the game to resume. It's going to fuck up the flow of the game. It's going to fuck up the entertainment value, the viewership. It makes no sense to me. This never was a thing before. I absolutely cannot fucking stand it. But we're going to handicap the games, man. We're going to go to the NFL here. That's what we're all about. I'm going to give you guys 3 plays in the NFL here. And hopefully we do well. Week 1 is a little bit difficult to figure out, man. So week 1, a lot of it is kind of based on like which teams we think are actually just ready to hit the ground running versus which teams we think are not based on what they did in the preseason. So there was, something. So there's something to be said about that. Yeah, Arch Manning. I don't think he's that bad, man, but he played against a very bad San Jose State defense this time, though. Yeah, I mean, I like Tower Game, man. Andrew, what's up, man? I don't know which Andrew that is, but I like Top and Raven. I like everybody, dude. I like Clint. I like Cole. I like Jose. I love all the guys, man. I want Tower Game to come back. I want everybody to come back and just have a gay orgy together, man. BKGJ, what's up, man? DFS, I mean, I do a little bit with fantasy. One specific player to not miss out on. It depends on what. I'd have to dig into it, man, because it depends on which players are. Like, for DFS, you got to look at who's undervalued, man. So, like, I would have to really dig into it, because I'm sorry, I haven't done, like, enough research to, like, answer that question right off the bat there. But it's definitely about value, though. So it's not necessarily about, like, oh, we think this player, like the top player in the league, is obviously going to have, like, one player is going to have a huge game, obviously, but like you have to pay like a huge price for that player. So there's probably some player under the radar. I mean, off the top of my head, I might even say a guy who I have in my flex position right now, RJ Harvey on Denver. You might be able to get him at a decent price. I think he's going to see a decent amount of action. I mean, his projections look pretty good this week, and if they're going to be winning the game, they're going to be having a lot of running back usage in that game. He's on my regular fantasy team, my main fantasy team. He's in my flex spot there, so maybe he might be at a good price, so I could throw that out there maybe. Let's talk about the NFL, man. So I'm going to have 3 plays. Those will be in the best bet segment. We'll go with the breakdown here, and I'll talk about every other NFL game, man. That's what I'm going to do on the show. I'll give you, maybe it'll help you with your pick'em pools. Hopefully I do well in my pick'em pools. Yes, sir. If you want to hang out for the picks, that's mostly what I do. And I do well in pick'em, man, but I will tell you that I keep an eye on the market. Like, this is pregame.com. This is their event center. It's like the best free tool that I can find for the market stuff, because right now all the other tools, they just cost way too much money, man. And Don Best, I think, is gone now. So, like, this has been what I've always kind of used, but I will give a little bit of a caveat that some of my picks, like, that I'm going to, not my actual bets that I give out on the show or my actual plays, but some, like, leans that I give out and opinions that I give out might actually change by, like, tomorrow. And I don't know if I'll wind up mentioning those, like, tomorrow morning either, though. So a few of the picks might shift depending on, like, because I have to watch, like, the late market movement, like, right before the games start. You know what I mean? Like, right before 1 p.m. Like, I watch it, like, almost right to the end if I can, to make sure that my picks are okay. And then I'm also in, like, a money, like, I have the regular pick'em pools. Like, some of them are for a little bit of money where you pick every game. But then I'm also in a bigger money pool that's where you pick 5 games every week. And for some reason for this week, they didn't let you pick Thursday and Friday. So, because I would have had Dallas as one of mine, but I have to make other picks. I'm going to give out 3 plays here. Those 3 are going to be in my pick 5, and 2 of my other, like, stronger opinions will be my other 2, although I'm not sure which games those will be yet. Let's run through it, man. I'm going to go in order of the schedule here instead of, I don't know. Should I go order of the schedule or order of the betting board? And we'll go betting board. Why not? Although sometimes the betting board will like shift because there'll be like some games that might get flexed in and out. But I think it's all in chronological order this time. Steelers Jets is going to be one of my plays, so I'll hold off on that one for now. Dolphins Colts. I will say this is close to being a play for me. I like the Colts in this one. The Colts have dropped from 2.5 to 1. Or to pick them, excuse me. I'm not just being biased here, but again, I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock into some of these line movements because these lines have been out for so long. I think that watching like what the market does and where it's settling actually tells you more than what that initial move was, because it is possible that maybe it was a setup or something like that, or maybe there are just conflicting opinions and there are multiple like professional groups coming in that actually like one group likes one side and one group likes the other side. Colts, and there are other information, like injury information comes in, at some point, whatever. So personnel might change, so that can affect those numbers. These numbers have been out for like months. So that's kind of why some of these numbers have moved. So the Colts, yes, they're down to a pick 'em, but 78% of tickets on the Dolphins and 62% of the cash on the Dolphins. The Dolphins are going to be a public side here, man. Everybody thinks the Colts are terrible. They think the Colts are one of the worst teams in football. Everybody likes the Dolphins because they got Tua, they got Tyreek Hill, they got Achane. But I would dial it back on the Dolphins a little bit, man. Tua, he played a little bit in preseason, but he didn't play that much in preseason. And I tend to like teams that actually got like their starters more reps in preseason, because sometimes if your starter is coming in too cold into week one, sometimes that can kind of affect you in a negative way early on, especially like in the early part of the game. Especially in the early part of the game, I should say, but maybe even for the entire game. So Achane really got like a limited amount of playing time there in preseason as well. And Tyreek Hill, I don't think played at all. And I think it's because both of those guys are actually dealing with injuries. I guess they're supposed to play in this game, but I'm just not sold on the Dolphins, man. They seem like a very fragile team, and I don't like their coach either. Mike McDaniels, whatever his name is. He's just a doofus, dude. Like, I love laughing at him because he just says ridiculous shit. And it's pretty funny. At one point during preseason, I think he made some reference to, like, wanting to kill himself or something like that. So I'm like, oh, he's one of my guys. He's suicidal? Yeah, let's go. But I don't like it, man. I don't think they're well coached. They seem to just fall short of expectations every single year. They haven't done well against the Colts recently either. The Dolphins have only beaten the Colts one time in the last decade, I think. Although, of course, the teams are different now, different personnel and whatever. But, I mean, there is something to be said about that. The Colts, I think, have won 4 of their last 5 games against the Dolphins. And one of them, I think I had as a bet that lost on my show that wound up being a bullshit loss. I forget exactly what it was. I think it was the Dolphins plus the points or something. And they fell like just short. The Colts, they're going to have some personnel changes too, because they have Daniel Jones in there now. But Daniel Jones played a decent amount in preseason, man. He did play quite a bit in preseason, partially because Anthony Richardson got hurt, but it will be Jones. I mean, Jones has a lot of years of NFL experience, man. So, yes, he's in a new system here, but Colts with, who's their coach? Steichen, whatever his name is. I think he's actually the better coach here. I think the Colts are a little bit under the radar. I think they're being undervalued by the public here and I guess by the market here. But yeah, Jones, I mean, he's okay. I mean, he's won a playoff game before. He's got experience. The way that his tenure with the Giants ended makes him look worse than he is, I think. I think the public perception of him is just so low. Like, the public's just going to think the Colts can't do anything. Oh, this offense for the Colts, they can't do anything against the Dolphins, right? Well, I don't know, man. I think the Colts actually might have the more balanced offense here. They have a good rushing attack, which the Dolphins, I know they have Achane, but he's kind of more of like a dual threat type of running back, pass catching running back. I mean, I don't know, man. I think the Colts kind of more of the grinding team, and I think the Colts do actually have the better defense out of the two here. And, sometimes, like, if all else is equal, I will default to leaning towards the defense. So, Ari, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. No, life has gotten a little bit worse as, the family dog died like about a week and a half ago, or almost 2 weeks ago now. I don't know, man. It's not, it hasn't been going any better, really, although my plays have been getting a little bit better. Well, I was bad for another like week or so. Plays are just all up and down, man. But I'm hot recently. Is Pittman going to have a good game? Yeah, man. Michael Pittman, I mean, he's like the number 1 wide receiver on the Colts, right? I think he's a good target for Daniel Jones, man. And Daniel Jones, again, I mean, that should help out Daniel Jones that he has some good wide receiver targets like that. Yeah, I mean, I do think he will have a good game. Miami's defense is bad, dude. So I don't see that really changing. So, again, I don't really have a whole lot else to say about that. But week 1, we don't get a lot of situational angles to talk about, man. So that's the thing. With week 1, it's kind of difficult to do what I do because I do like situational spots, sandwich spots and stuff like that. Like, who did this team play last week? Who's this team playing next? Hopefully I can get through this, man. I've only handicapped 1 game, or I've only talked about 1 game so far. We have Panthers-Jaguars. Jaguars up from 3 to 3.5 with juice here. Jaguars are the public team. I mean, nobody really has any trust in the Panthers here. Jaguars, 72% of tickets, 82% of the cash on them, though. And again, I don't really talk about totals. I only really do totals in Major League Baseball. I do mostly like sides and everything else, so at least that will kind of abbreviate the show a bit. If I really have a strong opinion on a total, I might, talk about it. But other than that, I don't really. But yeah, the Jags, even though they're public, it looks like the money is coming in on the Jags as well. I find it hard to really kind of disagree with that, though. Even though I'm a guy that likes to fade the public, I do think the Panthers are getting undervalued by the public. I think the Panthers' offense is going to take another step forward. Bryce Young was able to start playing better in the second half last year. He's not that bad. They have some really talented young wide receivers there with Tillman. Is that his name? McMillan. Why did I say Tillman? McMillan is, I think he's going to be a really good wide receiver. They got him. They did lose Thielen. He got traded back to the Vikings, but the Panthers do have this young core of wide receivers, and they got Chuba Hubbard as running back. So I think they're going to be pretty good offensively, actually, to be honest. I think they're going to be at least a decent offense, but the Panthers' defense doesn't look like it's going to be good. So that's the problem here. The Jags, they should improve, man. I mean, Trevor Lawrence just hasn't been healthy. That's the thing. Can he stay healthy? He is there right now. He will be playing. But how long can he stay healthy? If Trevor Lawrence can stay healthy, this Jags offense has got some weapons, man. They got some young running backs who are actually pretty good that might turn out to have a pretty good rushing attack, actually, due to some of these young guys they have there. They got, of course, Brian Johnson. Is that his name? Brian, is it Johnson or Robinson? I get everybody's fucking name wrong now, man. Whatever the fuck his name is, that wide receiver, Brian Thomas, right? Thomas. I'm like, yeah, some generic name, whatever. Whoever the fucking wide receiver is they drafted last year, he's good. They drafted Travis Hunter as well, who I guess they're still trying to play him on both sides of the ball, I guess. But I think they could have some serious talent on this offense, man. Jaguars, this is an offense that probably is not to be overlooked. And I do think they have the better defense over the Panthers. So I don't really disagree with the public side in this one. It looks like the professional money is kind of coming in that way too. Not a strong opinion on that one, but slight lean to the Jags for me in that one. Giants and Washington Redskins. I'm going to have a play on that one, too. You guys are not going to like these plays. I'll just tell you that right now, so you probably know what I'm doing in these games now. Bengals, Browns. This one, I mean, obviously, this is a divisional matchup, and I will say that in week 1, divisional underdogs do well in week 1, man, especially home underdogs. So home underdogs over the last couple decades, home underdogs in divisional games specifically in week 1 have covered the spread, I think 70% of the time, and divisional underdogs in general have covered 60% of the time. And the divisional dogs are already 2-0 to start this season, which does mean that there should be some, probably law of averages says they're not all going to cover. But we did get Dallas and the Chargers both covered in their divisional games as underdogs. And I got both of those right on my show. So, hey, but in ESPN's pick'em, the Eagles were only laying 6.5, so I couldn't take the points with Dallas through that key number. I was like, fuck you, man. I did still take the Chargers plus 2.5 and pick them, though, so at least I got that one right, even though I wasn't on the right side of that key number. That one, I was like, yeah, 2.5 to 3 just seems a little bit different to me for whatever reason. I'm just a little bit more apt to go with that because it's like so close to a pick 'em price almost that it's like if you're taking that underdog, you're basically saying they're going to win the game. So it feels different to me. But anyway, Bengals Browns. Bengals, I don't know when they were ever 2.5-point underdog. I don't think they ever were. They're a 5-point favorite here. I think they were a bit higher than that. I think they were 5.5, 6, and now it's down to 5. They're public, obviously. 77% of tickets, only 75% of the cash. You know the public is only going to come in on the Bengals here. The Browns, they're probably one of the worst teams in football. Bengals, we know how good their offense is. They have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. They got all the guys are back. Higgins, Chase Brown, they're all there. It's going to be one of the best offenses in football unless they have injuries that they're dealing with again. Yeah. Bengals, they still have a bad defense though. And you know me, man. Better defense at home as an underdog, getting points there. It's like, I think I would have to lean that way to the Browns, man. I'm not going to make it a play, but it just seems like the public's just never going to want to take the Browns here, man. They just won't think it could happen. Yeah, the Bengals have had the Browns number recently. The Browns have not beaten the Bengals since 2023, I think. I think the Bengals have won 4 or 5 games in a row against the Browns. But the Browns, they still have a decent defense, I think. I mean, they still have Myles Garrett there, I'm pretty sure. They're going to show up and at least try to win this game. It's a divisional game. We know the Bengals start slow. That's the other problem, and everybody's talking about it now because the Bengals have lost their first game, I think, 3 seasons in a row. They've only won one Week 1 game ever with Joe Burrow, I'm pretty sure. So everybody's talking about it like, what the fuck is going on here? And maybe it'll be different because I know the Bengals have really been focused on that this year. So the Bengals, they decided to play Joe Burrow in preseason and try to get him ready, which they hadn't done in the previous season. So he should be more ready this time. And you remember last year, I think he was dealing with an injury last year, and I think one of their wide receivers was like holding out until the last minute. It might have been Chase, actually. I'm not even sure. But they had like some issues going on there where they just couldn't get that they couldn't hit the ground running with the Bengals last year, and they wound up losing that game outright at home to the Patriots, which was really ridiculous. So obviously the Bengals are really focusing on, we're not going to lose the first game this time, but we don't really need them to lose the game outright if we take the Browns plus the points here, man. You only need the Browns to cover. And again, it is the better defense getting points. It looks almost impossible for that to happen because everybody knows the Bengals have the way better offense. The Browns, I mean, maybe their offense won't be totally inept because last year, you remember their quarterback situation was just a disaster, right? Because they had Deshaun Watson. He was getting all the rub and tugs. He couldn't really do anything. They had Jameis Winston. I think they should have stuck with Jameis Winston, man, because he is a talent. He just throws too many interceptions, but he comes out there. He can throw. He can light you up. He can get touchdowns. Their offense looked fairly good when he was out there, and then they're like, nah, he's throwing too many interceptions. Let's go with DTR or whatever his name is, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Terrible, terrible quarterback. Browns, I mean, they had no quarterback continuity, man, but now they might because they brought back Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco was the quarterback who got them to the playoffs a couple years ago. Playoffs? So they might actually be better with Joe Flacco, a quarterback, man. Flacco, he's used to playing in these big games in this division, man, because he was on the Ravens or whatever. He was on this Browns team 2 years ago or whatever, so he's familiar with this. So that might be a little bit better for the Browns. So I would slightly lean to the Browns in that game, man. And it's the first game. It's the home opener. So, the crowd's going to show up for that one, the dog pound. Before the Browns season is completely over, maybe they'll actually show up for a big game like this. So they might actually have a decent crowd there for that one. Raiders-Patriots, this is one of the hardest games for me to figure out. Patriots down from 7 to 2.5. They were never a 7-point favorite, though, I don't think. That's just ridiculous. I don't think so. 2.5-point favorite is where they are. It looks like you might be able to get 3 if you do like the Raiders. 52% of the tickets, 55% of the cash on the Raiders. I kind of lean to the Raiders here, man, because I think the perception here is that the Patriots are they're the more hyped team coming into the season, man. It's Drake May. He got a bunch of games under his belt last year. He's going to take a step forward. I don't really disagree with that, but the Patriots, they just seem to be too overhyped right now. They brought in Stephon Diggs. Who knows how good he's going to be at this point. They have a young running back who does look like he's going to be good. Henderson, I think is his name. He looks like he will be good, but the Patriots, a lot of growing pains, I think, still for the Patriots here, at least early on in the season, man. For the Raiders, yeah, I know they have to fly out to the East Coast, but I think that's a little bit it's kind of an overstated thing, like, oh, this Pacific Coast team or Vegas team now has to go to the East Coast and play an early game that's at 10 a.m. their time. Yeah, I mean, that's a thing, but that's not really something that hampers a team that much. I always talk about this. An East Coast team having to go to the West Coast and play a really late night game, so it's like it ends like midnight on their biological clock. That's actually way worse than a West Coast team going east. And in this case, it's the first game of the season, so the Raiders don't really have to worry about having played last week, so they're not having to travel, you know what I mean? So they can travel early, adjust to the time zone. So I think in week one, it's even less of a factor. So I don't think you should be too concerned about that. We do have two new coaches in this game, so two new systems being implemented. So both offenses could kind of struggle early in this game. You got Pete Carroll for the Raiders. Raiders have a new QB as well, of course, with Geno Smith, although he's definitely an experienced quarterback, though. So Smith, I mean, he should be ready to hit the ground running. Like, he's not going to be intimidated, obviously. He's played on the road against the Patriots before. So he'll be fine. The Raiders do have Genty there, so they have all these new pieces. Might take a little while for their chemistry to get going, though. Genty should be pretty good. I don't know. He might be a little bit overhyped, though, but I think he will be fairly good. There was that issue with the Raiders. They had one guy that I think just like, it's somebody I think got kicked off the team or something that the Raiders had. I don't remember that. So there was a little bit of turmoil in preseason, but still, I think they might be ready to go here, man. And Patriots, they're going to have Mike Vrabel. He's a good coach as well. He's implementing a new system here as well. But I think the Raiders are actually more equipped to hit the ground running here because Geno Smith had Pete Carroll as his coach when he was at Seattle. So remember that. So I think that might be the edge that the Raiders have in this game that might actually allow them to cover this number, man. So Carroll and Smith actually do have that like chemistry already, that built-in familiarity with each other that the Patriots don't really have with Vrabel coming in. Drake May has to get used to that new system. So yeah, again, I think the Raiders with that experience and that familiarity there, I think have an edge for that reason. So slight lean to the Raiders in that game. Charles, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. We got Cardinals Saints. The Cardinals, they were never a pick 'em, man. I don't know what the fuck that was, but they're up to 6.5. 78% of tickets, only 60% of the cash. Man, Survivor is going to be really difficult this week. It's really crazy, man. Like, who the fuck are we going to take in Survivor, man? I didn't take the Eagles. The Broncos are the most picked, like, they're the most heavily played Survivor pick. So if you want to get some Survivor knowledge there, you usually don't want to pick the team that everybody's picking because there's that chance that they go down. And if they go down, that's way more beneficial to you, man. Like, so you don't really want to pick who everybody else is picking, even if they are like the biggest favorite or whatever. You know what I mean? You want to try to not pick the most heavily picked team, but you also want to make sure you kind of want to pick a team that doesn't have a whole lot of future value. You know what I mean? So it's really difficult. So my thinking right now is that I'm going to be on the Cardinals here because I really don't see them losing this game, but I'm a little bit worried about that. They're being picked a little bit less, and I don't think they're that good, and they don't really have too many other Survivor-worthy games this year. 78% of tickets, only 60% of the cash on the Cardinals, though, so they are public. You could pick the Bengals, but in a divisional road game, that seems real dicey. And the Bengals don't really have too many other good games for themselves, though, this season, either that are like Survivor-worthy. But anyway, Cardinals, Saints. Cardinals are the better team, and I'm just not sure that I really see them losing this game. I mean, laying 6.5, yeah, I mean, that's a little bit of a dicey proposition. I might slightly lean to taking the points with the Saints as far as playing the point spread, but this is one of the ones that I have the least gauge on, man, because what the fuck are the Saints going to do? Like, yeah, they do still have a couple of good, talented players on their offense, man. They do still have Alvin Kamara there. They still have Olave, I'm pretty sure, at wide receiver, and they've had some injuries that they've had to deal with the last couple of years. So the Saints, they started off hot with those players last year on offense. They won 2 or 3 games out of the gate, and then they fell completely apart. They were dealing with injuries. They're probably like one of the worst teams in the league, though, to be honest, but maybe they're not quite as bad as people think as far as like they shouldn't be getting this many points at home, maybe in their home opener. A lot of it's going to depend on the quarterback, man. The Saints are going to be going with Spencer Rattler, the guy who looks like an albino Patrick Mahomes or something like that. Spencer Rattler, I mean, I don't think he's good, but he at least has played in the NFL before, so at least he has experience. He has some NFL stars. So I think that was probably the deciding factor to go with him over Shaw, who they drafted out of Louisville. We'll see what they do. As the season progresses, they might switch quarterbacks, but they do have at least a guy that has experience in this game. But yeah, the Cardinals, they have experience too. They got Kyler Murray playing. They got Connor at running back, who's one of my fantasy running backs on my main team, by the way. Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver. It's just the Cardinals, they have all this talent, but it seems like it just never pans out, man. So I don't really know what to do with this game, to be honest. What to do with this game is not put your money on it, I would say. If I'm going to use the Cardinals as survivor, I'm going to pray, basically. The Cardinals should have the better offense just because they have the better quarterback, but it worries me, man, because the Cardinals, they've had these guys for years now, and it's never really panned out for them. So they've been a disappointment almost every year. It worries me. Will they be able to win if they don't have male cheerleaders? I don't know. Skip it. We'll talk about the male cheerleaders. Well, Carolina, we already talked about them. Their male cheerleader quit, so that was good. They had a dude dressing up as a woman who was this bald black dude. He quit, so we're winning, man. We're winning. By the way, I was going to say Raiders-Patriots, an under might be worth a look in that game. The total kind of right there, kind of a mid-level total there at 44 for an NFL game, but 58% of tickets on the over, 62% of the cash coming in on the under. I think people might have a tendency to want to go over in that game. Oh, it's Geno Smith against Drake May, whatever. But I think, just the fact that the coaches are new there and whatever, I think you'd see the offenses maybe get off to a slow start in that one. So there's a little bit of a total lean for it, and the money looks like it at least agrees with that. So Raiders-Patriots could be an under, potentially, or maybe even an under first half while the offenses haven't gotten going yet. Haven't gotten themselves going yet, I should say. But anyway, yeah, I guess if you're forcing me to pick Cardinals-Saints, I guess I would go with what the market read is here for now and take the points with the Saints, but man, that is bad. That is ugly. Bucks-Falcons. I like the Falcons in this one. Not enough to give it out as a play, really, but there's some professional money on the Falcons. You kind of missed the boat on them, though, because they were plus 2.5 underdog, and now they're a 1-point favorite. I know it is still kind of a pick-em price. If you find Falcons maybe like a money line price, you could still maybe do that. You're still basically just saying who's going to win the game, so it might still be worth maybe a look on the Falcons, but that money is moved towards them. The Bucks have the public action, 63% of tickets on them, 58% of cash coming in on Atlanta. Tampa has been the team in this division for years now, right? They had Tom Brady for a while, and then it kind of just transitioned over. They trans themselves, and now they have Baker Mayfield there, and I've never been a Baker Mayfield guy. I don't really think he's that good, but I think the system is good for him there. They got Todd Bowles is still there as a coach, right? So they do have continuity. They do have a lot of talent. They still have they have Irving at running back. I think still is a talented young running back. They still got Mike Evans, although he's getting old and he's injury prone. Godwin at wide receiver. He's been injured though, so I don't know if Godwin's going to be ready to go or not. But they do have a bunch of talent on offense, that's for sure, and that's why the public is on Tampa. I think you could worry about their secondary a little bit though, and that might be the thing that the Falcons need here in this first game, because the Falcons are going with Michael Penix Jr. at quarterback now. Michael Penix Jr. I saw one one news outlet, one media, whatever, some TV station, whatever it was, had an interview with him, and they put his name up on the screen as Michael Penis Jr. Micro Penis. A Micro Penis Jr. It's an even smaller Micro Penis. I don't know, but I actually like Penix. I actually think he's going to be pretty good. If my quarterback analysis skills are still on, we'll see. But he played a little bit last year. They got him in there because Kirk Cousins, if you watched the Netflix quarterback series, which has had Kirk Cousins in both seasons of it, it's sad, man, because I like Kirk Cousins. He's a family man. I like him. But he was just dealing with so many injuries last year, and he's getting so old. I hope that he comes back and actually is able to play. He's still on the Falcons. He's their backup. So he's helping Michael Penix out, so Penix can study under a veteran like Kirk Cousins, which is probably good for Penix. But I actually am kind of hoping that Cousins winds up on a different team and gets a shot to be a starter again. Yeah, yeah, I know. Michael Penix Jr., baby. But I think Penix will be good. He's got a good situation, studying under Cousins. He played last year for, I think, 3 games maybe at the end of the season, so he's not having to get into this game cold at least. So those are all good things. The Falcons, they got talent on this offense, man. People overlook this. People talk about all the guys that the Buccaneers have, but the Falcons, they got Bijan Robinson, running back. He's good. Drake London, really good wide receiver. They got some other good wide receivers there, too. This Falcons offense, I think they could definitely score against this Bucs defense, man. Again, the Bucs, I think their defense, their weakness is probably going to continue to be their secondary, would be my guess, although we'll see how the season plays out. But I think that could help a young guy like Penix, take the load off him a little bit, and he might be able to throw the ball. Though you could argue that, well, if the Bucs stop the run, that's going to force Penix to have to pass. I could see that argument too. This one has not made my card. I don't know if it's going to make my pick 5 or not, but this is one of my stronger opinions, I will say. So the games that I have stronger opinions on so far that are not the plays that I'm going to give out were Colts and Falcons. And we're at the last of the 1 p.m. Eastern slate here. We got, that was the last one, excuse me. 4 p.m. slate now. We got Titans, Broncos. Broncos, they were never a pick 'em, man. I don't know what the fuck that was. Some of this data I think is just wrong, but the Broncos are a 9-point favorite. They're public as well. 91% of tickets, only 80% of the cash on the Broncos. I would lean to taking the points with the Titans, but I think it is a little bit dicey, man. I mean, Broncos, they're, I think, under the 3rd year under Sean Payton now, so they kind of gotten used to that. They're getting their rhythm there with him. It's going to be their 2nd year with Bo Nix. But the thing about these second-year quarterbacks, I think they take a step back, man. If they kind of explode onto the scene and they have a really good rookie season, I actually think they kind of have a tendency to have a sophomore slump, because I think part of the reason why they look so good their first season is that the league isn't used to them yet. The league doesn't know what that offense is going to do yet. And now you have an entire year of game film, this is what the Broncos offense is going to look like. So the league actually has, now they're actually able to adjust to it, and they have more game film to figure it out and be like, oh, this is how we can defend against this now. So I actually think that Knicks might take a little bit of a step back here. I don't think the Broncos are bad. I mean, I think they're going to be in contention for a playoff spot, but my opinion is that they're actually going to be missing the playoffs this year. I don't think they're going to lose this game, though. I mean, the Titans, we know they have Cam Ward there, and this is a tough assignment for him, man, to have to play against a pretty good Broncos defense in high elevation on the road at Mile High for his first start. That is difficult. That is a difficult ask. I think Ward will be a pretty solid quarterback, but this game might be a little bit difficult for him. Can the Titans cover the 9? I think they can. I mean, I'm kind of seeing this as more of a lower scoring game, which you kind of see here, the total at 42.5, 51% of tickets, 68% of cash on the under, And of course, if it's a lower total, you want to look more towards taking the points, because each point is going to be worth more. Both of these teams can play defense, man. The Broncos have a good defense. Titans also have a decent defense, man. That's kind of their system. I think their coach is in his 2nd year there, and I forget who he even is. But there are still some growing pains there with the Titans for sure. They got to get used to Ward being there. But the Titans do have the same running back room there and whatever. And dude, I mean, the Titans, they lost a lot of close games last year. Man, I mean, their quarterback play was really bad last year with what the hell was their quarterback's name? Was throwing all the pick sixes. Will Levis. Yeah, I mean, just an unfortunate situation, man. So Will Levis, I mean, his turnover tendency just really, really hurt the Titans, man. So they had some games they probably should have won that they lost, and they kind of got screwed by the refs in that game against the Vikings and whatever. So I do think the Titans might be a little bit better than people think they are, and the Broncos are the more overhyped team coming into this, because it's, Bo Nix, he's going to be even better in his 2nd year, right? And they made the playoffs last year, so that's why the public is on the Broncos. I think it does still make sense to lean towards fading the hype here and going with the Titans. But again, the hesitation I would have is it's definitely a tough assignment for a rookie quarterback to have to go in there and do that. 49ers, Seahawks, this game really gives me problems trying to figure this out, because I come into the season, I think the 49ers are going to win their division. The 49ers, they just had so many injuries last year. Their season just fell apart, man. The 49ers, they're still a really good team. They lost Deebo Samuel, yeah, but they have all these other guys coming back, man. I know Christian McCaffrey, it looks like he might be dealing with some injury issues again. That is maybe a problem, but I think he's going to play. So I think these guys are going to be out there. They're going to be back to their full offensive roster there, at least for the 49ers there. I still don't think their defense is that bad either, and they're well coached, man. I know they lost some defensive personnel, but the 49ers brought Robert Saleh back, who didn't do well as the head coach of the Jets, but he is a defensive mind, and he was really good as a defensive coordinator for the 49ers, so he's back. So overall this season, I like the 49ers. I think they're going to contend in the NFC unless they have a bunch of injuries again. I don't love Brock Purdy necessarily. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback, but I do like the surrounding cast for him. I do like the coaching with Kyle Shanahan there. I think he is one of the better coaches in the league. I don't like the Seahawks. I don't like what they did, and they're going to have some growing pains here, man, as they have a new coach coming in, which is, who the fuck is their coach now? Why do I not even remember who their coach is now? And they have a new quarterback with Sam Darnold coming in, and you know me, if you watched my show last year, I think Sam Darnold was a product of the system at Minnesota, because you're talking about Sam Darnold, a guy who's years into his career at this point, and he's always been a bust, and then all of a sudden he has a good season with the Vikings, and then he fizzles out anyway at the end, and he can't handle the pressure and the big pressure games at the end. I think it was a flash in the pan. I don't think that Sam Darnold is that good. Yeah, I know the Seahawks have Cooper Kupp now, but I don't think he's going to be that influential in this offense, man. Cooper Kupp, I mean, if you look at his fantasy projections aren't even that good. Smith Najigba, whatever his name is the Seahawks' number one wide receiver now. So we'll, what is that? What his name is? I forget. Jackson Smith Najigba, whatever, something Najigba, whatever the hell his name is. I don't know. I don't know anybody's name. But yeah, the Seahawks, I still don't think they're going to be good. So that is my analysis of the season. But the money's coming in on the Seahawks in this game, man. So I worry. 60% of tickets on the 49ers, 63% of the cash coming in on the Seahawks. So if you look at the market read, the lean would be to the Seahawks, but based on my analysis of what I think these teams are going to do this year, and the 49ers having all these guys back so they all have that continuity and that experience with each other, the Seahawks are going to have to hit the ground with those new pieces there, and what the fuck are they going to do? Darnold in a new system, I mean, I'm not sure that I agree with the market read here. The market read says the Seahawks. I don't really agree with it. I think I might lean to the 49ers here. We'll see what I wind up doing and pick them, because my autism, I look at this board and I'm like, I can't pick the 49ers because the money is saying no. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens with that one. And then we have Lions-Packers, another divisional game. We have a lot of divisional games, man. And, of course, Seahawks do fall into that divisional underdog category at home, remember. So that might be part of the reason why the professional bettors like the Seahawks, because I told you at the beginning of the show, home divisional underdogs in week one do really well, and divisional underdogs do well generally as well. And the Seahawks and the Browns fall into the category of being home divisional underdogs here. And the Falcons did until they flipped to a 1-point favorite. So now they don't anymore. So that changes everything, obviously. No, not really. Lions-Packers. Interesting, you would think the Lions would be the favorite. They were the favorite in both games last year against the Packers. I still think the public perception is that the Lions are the better team. 68% of tickets, 78% of the cash on the Lions. Packers opened a 2.5-point favorite. It seems like the professionals joined the public on this one, and the line got driven all the way down to the Packers being about -1.5 here. It's still sort of basically just a pick the winner type of price, so that's where this game is at. My analysis on this at first, I saw the line come out, and I was like, oh, man, the Lions are going to be like a public road underdog here. And in that case, you usually want to look to the home favorite. But it looks like the money's coming in on the Lions, man. And the analysis that I've heard from professionals, they were basically saying, well, they think there's a lot of noise there, a lot of chatter talking about how the Lions are going to take a step back because they lost both their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator here. So their offensive coordinator was Ben Johnson. He is gone. He's the head coach of the Bears now. And their defensive coordinator was Aaron Glenn. He's gone. He's the head coach of the Jets now. So, yeah, they lost both coordinators. They still have Dan Campbell there. But I'm not sure that the public really talks about that much. Do you really think the public looks even that deeply into it? Oh my God, the Lions lost both their coordinators. I tend to not think so. The public is still on the Lions, obviously. You can see that here. It's just the professionals are also taking the Lions. I think the public more just kind of reacts to what they saw last year. Oh, the Lions are the better team. We're getting them at the underdog price here. So it looks pretty easy to take the Lions here. I'm not sure I agree with it, though, man. I mean, the Packers, they lost both games to the Lions last year, which is going to have the public tending to want to take the Lions again even more. Why are the Lions an underdog, etc. The Lions, I think in the first game, especially the new coordinators, that does matter in the first game of the season. I think you could lose a little bit of continuity there, even though, yeah, the Lions have all these pieces coming back. Their defense is healthy again because they did lose Hutchinson and Anzalone last year. Not Kyle Anzalone from the Libertarian Institute, but what the hell is his first name? I don't even remember. I don't remember anybody's name anymore, man. And I used to be really good with names, but yeah, whatever. The Lions, they lost a couple of their best defensive players for long periods of time last year. Those guys are back. But yeah, I mean, maybe the Lions will be coming out with a chip on their shoulder because of the way their season ended last year, getting upset in the playoffs. So the Packers, this is at Green Bay. You know the Packers are going to show up too. And I know the Packers weren't able to do it last year at home against the Lions. I know we have similar personnel here. Packers have Jordan Love, but I might still lean to the Packers here, man. It's kind of an anti-public side here, man, just because I think it looks too easy to take the Lions as the underdog. Packers might have a little bit of extra motivation here, man. So, and the Packers, I think they're being undervalued by the public, man. I think the only other thing that I heard the professionals talk about is that, the Packers might be overvalued now because Micah Parsons is there. I'm not sure that I see that, man. I know Parsons, it seems like he has back issues now, man. So it seems like Dallas, it seems like it wasn't that bad of a trade for Dallas, and the Packers sent Dallas one of their defensive tackles, and Parsons might not even be ready to be starting the season, man. He's not 100%, and I heard that Parsons is going to have to get epidurals before every game. It's like he's fucking pregnant or something. I don't know, man, to alleviate the pain. I'm like, just birth your sacks naturally, man. What are you talking about? Yeah, you're bad with names. Yeah, I mean, I only am now because of my stroke brain and whatever. I think I would still lean to the Packers, but I want to see how this market kind of shapes up. So I guess this game and the 49ers-Seahawks game, those are the games that I probably would have a tendency to flip-flop on those two games, man, as we see what happens with the market read coming into the 405, 425 slate of games, man. So those games I don't have a strong opinion, but I do slightly lean to the 49ers and the Packers in those games as it stands now, and that would be against the market read in both cases, but I don't know, man. I just think the Packers, they're being a little bit, to me, I think they're being overlooked a little bit by the public. Texans-Rams is going to be one of my plays. Oh, God help me. And then we get to probably the best game of the entire week. The Sunday night game is Ravens-Bills at Buffalo. Bills have 51% of tickets, 58% of the cash. So they do have the cash coming in on them. Public likes the over, man. You know this is going to be a game where the public wants to come in on an over. 66% of tickets on the over. Total's already down from 53.5 to 50.5. So I would say if you like the under, and I would slightly lean to the under in this game, the cash is coming in on the under at 53%. Because the public perception is, these two teams can score a ton. We have tons of talent, really good quarterbacks here, right? So the public thinks this is going to be a shootout, but the Bills have improved their defense this year, and I think the Ravens have as well. So I think you're going to see both teams actually be better defensively this year, and especially in game one. I think the offenses in week one start a little bit slow sometimes. Defenses, I think it's a defensive game in general, man, because this is more of a playoff type of atmosphere. So I would agree with the under in this game. If you do like that, I think you want to try to get the 51 because that's a key number, man. It is a pretty high total there. Yeah, epidurals, legal, but all this other stuff. Yeah, cortisone is banned. That doesn't make any sense. Cortisone in endurance sports, they're banned. Cortisone is not banned in the NFL because I'm pretty sure that's what they inject those quarterbacks ankles with and shit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's all just hypocritical bullshit. It's all stupid. But the Ravens flip from +1 to -1.5, and I actually agree with the Ravens side in this game, man. I know I thought the Ravens were going to win that playoff game, but that means this is playoff revenge because the Ravens are returning to the scene of the crime here, man. I know it's a big game for both teams, so the amount that playoff revenge can motivate you is a little bit limited, but it is still a factor, slightly, I would say. The Ravens know the Bills ended their season last year. Yeah, both teams are going to want to show up here, but the other thing that you got to look at is the Ravens have actually outplayed the Bills, man. In their last 3 games, the Bills have won 2 of the last 3 meetings against the Ravens, but the Ravens, I believe, outgained them in all 3 meetings, including if you dig into the playoff game last year, the Ravens had like 400 yards of offense, and the Bills only had like 250. So the Ravens outgained the Bills substantially in that game, and the reason they lost was turnovers. The Ravens had 3 turnovers, and the Bills didn't have any in that game. And one was a crucial turnover, if you remember, because I was pissed about it on my show. I don't think I had the Ravens as an actual play in that game. I don't remember, but I know maybe I did. I don't remember. But there was that pass over the middle to Mark Andrews, where the Ravens looked like they were driving to try to win the game, and he fumbled it on the Bills' side of the field, and that basically ended the game. That was ridiculous, man. So the Ravens... Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of fluke turnovers in that game, too. And, of course, the Ravens absolutely annihilated the Bills in the Ravens' home game last year. You remember that. It was a little bit early in the season. It was a somewhat bad spot for the Bills. I gave out the Ravens as a lean on my show, although I didn't play it, and I was pissed that I didn't play it because the Ravens massacred the Bills in that one. But the Ravens in both games last year outgained the Bills, man. I think the Ravens are the better team. I think they might be the better defense of the two as it stands right now, and I actually think they have the more talent on the offense, too. Even though the Bills, I know James Cook is an up-and-coming star there at running back. They got some better wide receivers there, I think, as well. But still, Ravens, I think that they have the more... I think they could do more with their offense, let's say. They have, like, their offense is more multifaceted. They have multiple different running backs that can do multiple different things. Jackson is a little bit more of a dual-threat quarterback than Allen is. But, so, yeah, for all those reasons, I do lean to the Ravens in that game. Trav, what's up, man? Check darts. I have nothing on darts, man. I know you like bunting. I've mentioned bunting on my show, man. I think on my show with Clint, right, on balls. Bunting is the guy that had that entrance where because all these crazy darts entrances, he had that entrance where he came out and started kissing a bunch of dudes in the audience. It is hilarious. I don't have anything on darts, but I know there are some guys that do darts. If you go to Wager Talk, there's a guy, one of their handicappers, Andy Lang. He handicaps a lot of weird sports, and he does a lot of darts. So you can find his darts shit over there if you want to listen to some professional guy that does darts. He does darts. He does golf. He does a lot of props. He does a ton of shit. So I don't know a whole lot about it. I've heard all those names, the 2 Lukes and bunting. I think one of the Lukes is a really young guy, right? I don't know anything about darts. But we'll talk about your place. So you have Humphreys, Bunting, Littler parlay at plus 248. So Trav says to do that. I don't know anything about it, though, man. Trav says half a unit on Van Gerwen to win the entire tourney just for fun at 15-1. And then I guess when you do that, you could hedge at the end of it, too, you know, if he gets further in the tournament, however this works. Bunting, yeah, he farms Aura. That is true. Yeah, well, that's the thing, man. Darts, like, I think for guys that actually pay attention to it, because that's the thing, nobody pays attention to it, so the books don't have to put up really good numbers, you know what I mean? Like, the books, they know everybody pays attention to the NFL, so the NFL lines are so hard to beat, although I've been able to do it myself over the last 2 decades. I've been able to beat the NFL and win at it, but yeah, like some of these other sports, you might be able to win at a higher rate because the books don't fine-tune those lines, like darts. Nobody's betting darts. They don't know enough about it, you know what I mean? Andy Lang's going to get banned from some of these books probably for it. Yeah, so check him out, I guess. Yeah, darts is gay. That's obviously what I said. Dude, darts is fun. I played darts. The one company that I worked for that was really fun, which was like an online jewelry company, it was a party, man. Everybody was young. I was still a bit younger at the time, too. Everybody would hang out in the office at like most hours and be drinking. We had shuffleboard, like table shuffleboard. We had shuffleboard tournaments. I lost in the finals in the big shuffleboard tournament we had with the CEO as my partner, and I blamed him for the loss, which was accurate. And he looked at me, he was like, yep, accurate. I'm like, oh, man. And then we had darts as well. We played darts in the office as well, so that was the last time I played darts to any serious degree at all. And we do like crazy shit, like telestrations in the office, even though everybody starts drawing dicks. This was back before everybody became totally woke, man. It was like in the early 2010s. We played Cards Against Humanity in the office with the head of HR there. Yeah, the nuke is 19. You're up 27 units. Good for you, man. All right, and then we got, so that was the Sunday night game. Monday night, there's only one game. I'm used to there being 2 Monday night games, man. What gives? There's only one Monday night game. Usually week 1 is a doubleheader. It is Vikings-Bears, so here's your male cheerleader, who I don't even think is male, dude. The Vikings, that Blaze person, if you want to even call them a person, I think that person is a woman who trans to a man who is now dressing like a woman and pretending to be a woman. So it like comes full circle. Like, that's what I think, but I don't fucking know. Whatever it is, it's definitely gay. So you should obviously go against the Vikings for that reason. No, I'm kidding. I actually lean to the Vikings in this game, and I think the Bears getting a little too much of the public hype here. 59% of tickets, 63% of the cash on the Bears. Bears are a little bit public. It looks like they got some of the money, but the Vikings did move up from a pick'em to a 1-point road favorite, and to me, it looks too easy to take the Bears. I know it's one of those week 1 divisional home underdogs. I get that, but it's a pick the winner type of line, so I don't know if that really counts. Technically, it does as a divisional home underdog, but I think the Vikings are more ready to go, man. I mean, the Bears, they have a new coach, and it's Ben Johnson, as I said, so there are going to be some growing pains there with Ben Johnson in there now, even though I think he's good. I think he's an upgrade over Eberflus, who is now the defensive coordinator of Dallas. The Bears, yeah, I mean, I think their offense may improve with Ben Johnson there because he is better, but I don't think it's going to happen right away, man. And I'm still not a Caleb Williams guy. I've been saying it. I'm on record saying I don't like these I don't like these USC quarterbacks, basically, for whatever reason. I think they just play against bad offenses in the Pac-12. Never been a Pac-12 guy. I know it's not the Pac-12 anymore, but I don't think Williams is good. I think he's gay. I think he cries too much. I don't think he's tough. I don't think he understands the system. There's some word coming out. I don't know if that was fake or not, that thing that I quote tweeted the other day about Williams not understanding the system at all. I don't know if that was real or not, but I don't trust him. Don't like Williams. Will the Bears be any better this year? Maybe. But again, I don't know. I don't know if I trust Williams, man. They did lose Keenan Allen back to the Chargers, and he actually had a pretty good game on my fucking fantasy bench, by the way. Worthy in my lineup gets injured on play number 1, and then Allen is just sitting on my bench, and Allen goes off. So isn't that just awesome? Or he had a pretty good game, at least. So, yeah, really, really pissed about that. Who's a Nephilim? I don't know. Who are we talking about? Oh, Bunting. Yeah, I don't know about Bunting exactly, but yeah, I mean, I know he kisses men. You're going to the World Finals for darts? Yeah, do it, man. Next year, it should be fun. Although London, you got to worry about how much like crime there is there now because they're infested with all the illegals. The Purple Penis Eaters, that's true. I'm pretty sure that's their name. Purple Monkey Dishwasher for the Vikings, whatever the hell it is. The Purple People Eaters is what it was. The Purple Helmets, whatever. Vikings, yes, I know they do have a rookie quarterback now with J.J. McCarthy, but the good thing about McCarthy is at least that he was in the system last year. Like, he was supposed to be their starter last year, and he got hurt in preseason. So he spent that entire year at least being with the team and learning the system. You know what I mean? So that's at least a decent thing that McCarthy will at least understand the system, will be up to speed. He played in the preseason, so at least there's that. So he's gotten some NFL play under his belt as well. And I think the Vikings have the ability to take the load off him a bit, man, because they have some talent on that offense, man. And especially, of course, Justin Jefferson, who's, a really, really good wide receiver. They're probably the best in – it's either him or Chase is the best wide receiver in all of football, man. So, yeah, the Vikings do have all that. And I think they've the better coaching here, man. I know Ben Johnson's all right, but there's going to be continuity issues there potentially with – Kevin O'Connell, he's been there forever, man. Kevin O'Connell is a Nephilim, if that's what you're talking about. Kevin O'Connell, he's really fucking tall, the coach for the Vikings. But he's been there for a while. He's a good coach, man. He gets a good amount out of his players. So I think that's a good sign, too. So I think you have the better coaching on the side of the Vikings as well. And the Vikings have a pretty menacing defense, dude. So that could hurt the Bears here. I still think the Bears' O-line is pretty bad. I think they might have some problems with this Vikings defense, and that's going to cause Caleb Williams to have some problems. So I do lean to the Vikings in that game. Not going to be a play for me, though. Yeah, the male cheerleader, male, if that's even what that person is. You like Odunze for 60-plus yards at plus 120, being featured during camp by Ben Johnson. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, again, with Keenan Allen also not there, I mean, what do they have? They have him and DJ Moore, right? DJ Moore is on my fantasy. Is DJ Moore still there? I think he is. He's on my fantasy team more. I don't have any great wide receivers on my team. I just have decent wide receivers on my team, but I have a lot of them. So I don't know if I'll be able to trade one of them away, or we'll figure out what I can do. But, yeah, we'll see. Because I need more depth at running back. But I don't know. I'll figure it out, man. My wide receivers are not exactly good, though. But let's go to the plays. Let's do it. Let's get out of here. It's late, man. I'm not going to be up till 2:30 this time on the show, but here's the best bets. Last night, my college football show went an hour and 40 minutes, and I was up here until 2:30, and then I was trying to watch that movie Together with Dave Franco and Allison Brie, who I think are actually married in real life. It's a weird, weird movie, man. It's like a sci-fi horror movie where they drink this like poison water or whatever the fuck it is, and that water causes them to like, I guess, get stuck to each other physically. I don't know. I'm only halfway through it. It's a bizarre movie. I know it's a metaphor for relationships. Gay. I'm going to see if I wind up liking the movie or not. I don't know. The critics liked it. The audience score was fairly good on it as well. So I don't know. But will my score be good? The Toad score? I don't know. But let's get to the best bets, man. You're not going to like these. The first one up is the Jets +3. This one, if you can't find 3 now, you could probably just wait and find it, because the Steelers, it looks like they were 1.5-point dog at some point. I don't know if that was actually the case. They're up to 2.5 now with juice. So I think you will be able to get a 3 at some point. If you can't find it now, you could just wait. I would still probably take the 2.5 if you can't find it. But I think you probably are going to find it at some point, because the public's coming in on the Steelers. The public can influence NFL lines more than they can influence any other sport. They're really the only lines that can be influenced at all by where the public is NFL, especially in week one of the first games up. And this is a big game, man, because of the quarterback matchup. It's going to be really hyped. And I think that's where we can actually find some value, man. I mean, we're getting the Jets as a home underdog, which also seems like value to me. But 64% of tickets, only 59% of the cash on the Steelers. So the public is on the Steelers. It's the Aaron Rodgers effect, man. That's what it is, and I like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I like that he took a stand against the vaccine. I watched his Netflix documentary. I think he gets way too much hate. He's the most overhated player probably in all of sports. Him and Djokovic, although I think Djokovic just got ousted from the U.S. Open last night. He lost in the semifinals, which unfortunately, Djokovic, he's way past his prime, which sucks because some of his prime got ruined by not being able to enter certain countries because he wasn't vaccinated, which is bullshit. Couldn't appear in those Grand Slam tournaments. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he gets shit on for his vaccine stances too, and for just generally being weird and going on ayahuasca trips and whatever. I like Aaron Rodgers, obviously. I think he was actually pretty good last year. If you look at his stats are actually pretty good. But this is the first game of the season, man. He's on a new team with the Steelers, and Rodgers didn't play at all in preseason. He didn't take a single snap. So when you see that happen, and I'm fading 2 quarterbacks with my plays, that's what I look for in week 1, man. I'm going to fade quarterbacks that didn't play at all in preseason whatsoever, because like, how can you adjust to the offense, man, especially when you're on a new team? This is the worst of it, because when you're on a new team, Aaron Rodgers joining the Steelers here, yeah, you can learn the offense. I know Aaron Rodgers, he's a good quarterback. He's a veteran. He's a smart guy. But he hasn't played in like an actual game environment yet. Yeah, sure, he's played in practice, whatever, but he hasn't played in a real game with the Steelers, with this system at all. So I think that's a disadvantage, man. I think he might be slow to start here, and then everybody's going to come out and make fun of Rodgers. Oh, my God, he sucks, whatever, which I don't think he does. I think he'll get going at some point this season. Mike Tomlin's still a good coach. I do worry this might be his first time having a losing season, though, which has never happened to him before. But in this game, I just don't think it's a good spot for the Steelers, man. They're going to the Jets. Everybody's talking about Aaron Rodgers, and that's the hype. Oh, Aaron Rodgers, he's going to want to get back at the team that let him go, right? I don't know, man. I don't know that Rodgers really gives a shit about that at this point, man. I mean, he was hurt for an entire season with the Jets, and then he played 1 season last year. Do you think he's really heavily motivated? Do you think he has some grudge against the Jets? I highly doubt it. But you know who I think might have a grudge? Justin Fields, who's the quarterback for a grudge against the Steelers, excuse me. Justin Fields, I think, is going to have a grudge against the Steelers, excuse me. So this is a crazy matchup, man, where both quarterbacks are playing against the team that they were on last year, and nobody's talking about the Fields side of it. Everybody's only talking about it's Aaron Rodgers against the Jets. Aaron Rodgers against the Jets. Well, yeah, but it's also Fields against the Steelers. And if you remember what happened, Fields was 4-2 with the Steelers last year, but then Russell Wilson got healthy or whatever, and the Steelers were like, well, we have to play Russell Wilson because he's fucking Russell Wilson. He's a veteran, so we had to play him, even though I think Wilson is past his prime, although I'm going to possibly be a hypocrite when we talk about the Giants game, but so you know where I'm going with that game too. But I think Fields was actually the better option for the Steelers, man. I don't like how old Wilson is at this point. I know he used to be good. He's not anymore. I think the Steelers should have kept Fields, and I think Fields is going to have something to say about this, man. The Steelers let him go, and they basically were like, no, we're going to play Russell Wilson over you. We're going to lose in the playoffs, and then we're going to let you go. So I think Fields is actually going to be the more motivated quarterback here, and he's the quarterback that played in preseason. I know he got hurt early in the preseason, but it was a very minor injury. I think it was like a sprained toe or something. So he's back. He should be fine. So yeah, I like the Jets here, and you're also getting points with one of the lowest totals of the week. It's down from 39.5 to 38, so this is expected to be a slugfest of a game. It's supposed to be old school defense, which I agree with that, but the Jets probably have the better defense over the Steelers, man. And I know the Steelers, I mean, they made that weird trade too. They traded Minkah Fitzpatrick. They traded him to the Jags, I think. Is that where Jalen Ramsey was? So they brought in Jalen Ramsey, I think is his name, right? I forget names yet again, but I think that's who they brought in, which Ramsey, I think, is a little bit old now at this point, man. So I don't know if that trade is really going to be good for the Steelers. I think the Jets are actually the better defense, man. The Jets have been a solid defense for the last few years, and they have a defensive head coach now with Aaron Glenn there, who was a really good defensive coordinator during his time at Detroit. I mean, he was pretty good, at least I should say. But he's back to a team that he played for, man. Aaron Glenn did play for the Jets when he was in the NFL. And I think that's a good head coach signing, man. So I think the Jets are going to actually take a little bit of a step forward with him. I know there's some growing pains there, so I know that's something to be a little bit concerned about, maybe, because the Steelers obviously don't have a new coach. The Jets have the new coach. The Steelers do not. But again, the Steelers have a quarterback who hasn't played for them before. The Jets, they have a new coach and a new quarterback. I know maybe that's a little bit worse, but still, I mean, the quarterback has to learn the new coach's system either way. And I think it's going to improve the Jets' defense. The Jets do have decent offensive talent, man, around Fields here. They got Breece Hall. If he could stay healthy, he's a solid running back. Garrett Wilson is still there, I think, is their key wide receiver there. So the Jets, their offense isn't totally inept or anything like that, which I think seems to be the perception of the public, that the Jets can't do anything. But again, the Jets' defense is good enough to hang in what's supposed to be a low-scoring game like that, getting the points at home. We'll take the Jets +3, man, in that one. What's crazy? What's happening? Endangering the health of the morbidly obese heroin addicts on mobility. Oh, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, by telling people to not get the vaccine. He didn't even really tell people that. He just said, do what you want with your own health, and this is what I'm going to do. Nancy, what's up? Thanks for hanging out. What are you going to send me? What? You're sending me, you're mailing something to me? You're DMing me? You're DMing me your tits? I mean, I'm fine with that if that's what you're doing. That will cheer me up after I've been sad over the last few weeks. I would not mind that. Charles, what's up? You played, broken big toe. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it might be his big toe. I don't know. But yeah, Justin Fields, he'll suck it up. He'll be fine. Thornton on the Raiders. Look to see if he's available in your league. He's a 6'5" wide receiver and only one of 3 to ever run a sub-4.4 40 at the combine. And the others were Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson at Megatron. Interesting. Thornton, do you think he's going to get enough? That's a good, and then he probably is available, I would guess. I doubt that guy got drafted. People don't know who he is. Do you think he's going to get enough playing time, though? So, I mean, we could stash people. We have a pretty expansive roster in my league, but we got rid of injured reserve spots, which I kind of hate because, I I mean, if you actually do get a player who gets injured, you can't use that extra spot for it, obviously, but we have extra bench spots instead of injured spots. The reason I don't like that, though, is because if a guy is on the injured list, but he's about to come back, you can't, I think you can't, put him in your lineup or something. There's some issue with it. ESPN gets fucked up, so I still don't like that, though. Oh, through the mail? I don't know. Well, you could do both if you want to. I don't know. What are you sending me through the mail, though? I don't know. Yeah, DM me. I don't know what Nancy is sending me through the mail. Is it going to be a bomb? Is she the Unabomber? I'm a little bit concerned about that, to be honest. What the hell were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Thornton. Yeah, so we can stash guys, but the problem is I already have 2 stashes on my roster. I have 2 suspended wide receivers. I have Addison, so that's one thing to keep in mind. The Vikings, Addison is not there, but I think that's kind of a minor issue. They brought in Adam Thielen, so Thielen is going to help out with their wide receiver depth there in Addison's absence. He's suspended. I don't even remember why, and probably crashed a vehicle into somebody, because that's what Rashee Rice is suspended for, and I have him on my team, which is another reason why I was like, oh, I'll have Worthy while Rice is suspended, and then when Rice comes back, I'll have him. Rice causes a six-car pile up. He should probably be in jail, but of course he's in the NFL, so he's going to play, but I have them stashed right now. Rare company being true. Yeah, he'll be on my watch list maybe for next year. The hope would be that he doesn't do anything this year and he flies under the radar still. Or maybe if he starts doing something this year, you can maybe get on him with the free agent signing real quickly. Let's finish this up, man, but I told you I was going to be a hypocrite with Russell Wilson. I'm going to go with the Giants +6 against the Washington Redskins. And you guys are not going to like this, man. You know me. You know how contrarian I am. I don't think this line was ever 7, so if you get 6, 6.5, whatever the number is, there's not much of a difference between those two numbers. You could wait because the public is on Washington. 61% of tickets on them, 52% of the cash on them. I highly doubt it gets to 7, though. If you want to wait and see if it happens, there's no real rush to play against a public team like this on NFL Sunday. I mean, you can basically wait until game time. I think you're probably going to still just get 6 or 6.5 on it, though. But I think in this case, it's good enough, man. The Giants, I think they're being undervalued again, man, even though I like Jackson Dart over Russell Wilson. I know Russell Wilson will be their quarterback, but is that really a downgrade from what the Giants were doing last year? I know the Giants lost both games to Washington last year, but those games were both actually really close, man. So the Giants were one of the few teams last year that actually were able to slow the Redskins' offense down. So the Redskins, we know, they have a good offense with Jaden Daniels there. They added Deebo Samuel. They still have who do they have? They lost one of their running backs, though, right? They lost. Did they lose Brian Robinson? I don't even remember. I forget if they did or if they didn't. And they just re-signed Terry McLaurin, I think, so he's still there. So, yeah, we know Washington has a really good offense. But the Giants, again, they actually have a pretty underrated defense, man, especially their front seven and their defensive line. Their defensive line is solid, and they bolstered it with that first-round draft pick this year, too. So they had some solid draft picks. I think that guy's going to be ready to go right away, too. What was that guy's name? Abdul, I forget. Maybe that's wrong. Paula Abdul, whatever the fuck his name was. He's going to be right there in the fray. And, again, the Giants, they were able to slow the Washington offense down and play them close in both games last year. They lost by single digits in both games last year. And do you really think the Giants are worse this year, or do you think they're actually maybe better now that Daniel Jones is out of there? He wasn't playing well for them. Do you think it's a downgrade from Daniel Jones to Russell Wilson? I don't really think that it is. And the Giants, I mean, they have some offensive components there that are decent. They got Malik Neighbors. I think he should take maybe another step forward. They got some young running backs that aren't too bad there, like Tracy. So, I mean, yeah, the Giants. And last year, you know that they were having that ripple effect early in the season where they lost Saquon Barkley. It was such a key component for them, and losing that, I think, kind of made them a little bit sad, I think, coming into the game. So the Giants, they're a year removed from that. I think they're going to be more ready to go this time, man. So, again, I don't think they should be a 6-point underdog here. They were not that big of an underdog in either game last year against Washington. I know early in the season, one of the games was earlier in the season. I know at that point we didn't realize that Washington was going to be as good as they were. So, yeah, the line would have to be adjusted a little bit, but I don't think that a 6-point spread is justified, man. But I think the Giants are probably a little bit better than they were last year, and Washington, I don't think they're as good as they looked last year. I think they're one of my one of the teams I keyed on in my season win totals to take a step back this year. I mean, they went from 4 wins to 12 wins last year. That's like unheard of. So you got to think they're going to kind of land somewhere in the middle of those two this year. And I actually think they're going to be around maybe 8, 9, somewhere between 8 and 9 wins, and I actually think they might miss the playoffs. So that was my analysis there. But again, Giants, they're the better defense too. Washington's defense is bad. So the Giants, I know their offense isn't that good, but they might be able to find some holes in this Washington defense. Yeah, and the Giants defense is the better defense, so they might be able to slow Washington down enough to stay in this game. It's another divisional dog too in week 1. You know what I said, divisional dogs. Although it's not a home one here, but the divisional dogs do well in week 1. They're one of them. Yeah, and we got one already with Dallas. So for a play on my show, I mean, and the Chargers did cover as well, which was just a lean for me. But yeah, we'll go with the Giants here, man, for all those reasons. Not a Russell Wilson fan at this point, but I just think it's the better defense getting points is something you can't really overlook, man. And we're fading the public, like I said. So I like that aspect of it, too. So we'll go with the Giants. Nancy is the guy who was at my door this morning. I don't think so. I've met Nancy in person, and they did not look the same. The Washington white boys, the Caucasians. And we're going to finish this off. This is going to be one that everybody's going to hate this one, too. We're going to go with the Houston Texans +3 at the LA Rams. Yeah, I mean, this seems to be the professional side on this one. The Rams, I don't know when they were ever 2.5-point underdog, but they're a 3-point favorite here now, so you can get the key number of 3. 53% of tickets on the Rams, but 58% of the cash coming in on the Texans. This is another one, man, where I actually think we're getting the better defense getting points with the Texans, even though I know the Rams defense kind of came around last year, but Sean McVay is more of an offensive coach, man, and the Rams defense was pretty bad for the first half of the season last year. Texans, they took a big offensive step back last year. It was offensive to me, and that was like the sophomore slump that I talk about with C.J. Stroud. After he lit up the league kind of figured out what the Texans' offense looked like with him and were able to kind of slow them down. But the Texans are a much more defensive team, man. D'Amico Ryan, their coach, is a much more defensive coach, so I like that too. So we're getting the more defensive-minded coach here against the more offensive-minded McVay. I know McVay is a good coach, but the other thing McVay does is he doesn't give a shit about preseason. He doesn't play his starters in preseason. I think that causes the Rams to get off to a slow start, man. Matthew Stafford, I think he's going to play in this game, but he hasn't played at all in preseason, and he has a bad back. He's old, so it's like, what are you even going to get with Matthew Stafford in this game? Is he going to be like a total statue? Like, that doesn't seem good, man. And the public is still thinking that the Rams are going to be good in this game and that people are picking the Rams to win that division. I'm not so sure about that, man. And the Rams, they added Devontae Adams, so he's a stud wide receiver, obviously. But, dude, Stafford, again, I think he might come in like cold. Let me make sure he's playing. I'm pretty sure he is. But due to not having played in preseason and due to, let me see, due to him having this bad back, I mean, it seems like it's a bad yeah, he's not listed on the injury report, so he is going to play. But again, so that means he's coming in cold. He hasn't played whatsoever in preseason. I know he's a veteran, and he's still with the same coach and on the same team. But again, I think he might be cold coming into this, man. I don't know if his back is going to hold up. Seems bad to me. So I'm going to actually go, in this case, I'm going to go with the younger of the quarterbacks getting points, but I'm also going with the better defense again, which is the Texans. And I think the Texans started to get overlooked a little bit towards the end of last season because everybody realized their offense wasn't as good anymore. And it's about their defense again, man. And yes, I know the Texans do have offensive injuries right now. We have to worry about that a little bit. Joe Mixon is not going to play in this game. He's injured right now, the starting running back for the Texans. But they have Nick Chubb now, so they have some running back depth. Chubb is a talented running back, so he'll be in the mix. And they have Dameon Pierce, who when he was getting a big load, oh God, when he was getting a huge workload for the Texans, he was actually good too. So I think he might surprise some people this year, man. If these Texans running backs can't stay healthy, Pierce could be good when he's in the mix, man. And NFL running backs they're somewhat plug and play too, man. So I'm not too worried about that. And then, yeah, their wide receiver depth is a little bit shaken right now because they added Christian Kirk, and it looks like he's hurt right now. And I think Tank Dell, who was on my fantasy team last year and had a major injury last year. I think he's not back yet either. So, yeah, I know that means Nico Collins is going to be shouldering a big load at wide receiver, another load at wide receiver for the Texans. But again, a lot of this is about the defense, and this is looking like it's going to be a low-scoring game. The total is down from 46.5 to 43.5 here. Big move on the under. 59% of tickets on the under. 86% of the cash on the under. I think as long as the Texans can be competent enough on offense, I trust that more than what you're going to get out of Matthew Stafford here, man. I'm just not sure that he's going to be ready yet. And he didn't play in preseason, so he doesn't have the chemistry built up with like Devontae Adams yet, who's going to be one of the key wide receivers for them. Yes, they have Puka Nacua still, but I'm not loving it, man. So the Rams are getting more of the hype. Texans are flying under the radar. Even though I said that I don't really think the Texans are necessarily going to win their division this year. But I like them in this game in week 1, man, even though that's probably the weakest of my 3 plays. But those are the plays. Giants-Washington, by the way, the money seems to be coming in a little bit on the under in that game, too. So that's a good sign for taking the points, too. The total went down from 46 to 45.5, thinking that Giants defense might be able to keep this game a little bit lower scoring. And week 1 games tend to be fairly low scoring as well because teams tend to come out a little bit slow. The offense tends to be less ready to go than the defense right away. 67% of tickets and 60% of the cash on the over in that one. Yeah, right. Just load them all up with fentanyl. Yeah, Texas, they have huge lows. Everything's bigger in Texas, especially the lows. That's going to do it, though, man. NFL, the plays this week. We already won on the Dallas Cowboys. Let's keep it going with all these underdogs. Jets +3. I think you'd probably find the 3 sometime between now and kickoff. It's still probably good at 2.5. Giants +6 or 6.5, whatever you can find. And Houston +3, I think, is definitely out there right now, so you can get those 3. That's going to do it. Everybody, thanks for hanging out once again. Learn to Toad on Twitter, on Instagram. What else do we have? Better Off Dead. Of course, like, subscribe to the show. I'm brain farting here. Stroke brain late at night. Like and subscribe. Go review me on the audio. Give me good reviews on Spotify. And on Apple over there, and that will help me out as well. Covered in Uke on YouTube, my Uke project, and then patreon.com/LearnToToad, and there's some bonus Uke there as well. Justin, did I have Missouri State beating Marshall? I never talked about that game, but I looked at the game, and that was a lean that I had. I just didn't have enough information about that, but I looked at that line, and I was like, Marshall is a 10-point favorite. It seemed like there was no way Marshall should be a 10-point favorite, so I kind of wish that I dug into that game more and gave out a play on that because Missouri State, they're being undervalued right now. I know they're new to FBS, though, so there are kind of growing pains when that happens, but Marshall is awful. Like, Marshall's basically new to FBS, too, because they lost their entire team over the offseason. Their whole team from last year is Southern Miss now. They all went to Southern Miss. Marshall, it's going to be a real long season for them, so I definitely looked at that, and I had that as that was absolutely a lean for me. Like, there was only one way I was going to do that. I was going to take 10 points with Missouri State in that one. I wish I added it to my money pools because I definitely considered it being one of my last plays because I fucking lost on Duke in my as one of my last like money pool plays, even though I went 3-1 on my best plays, the bets that I gave out on the show. But on those pools that I'm in, I have to add like a couple more plays, so I added like Duke and Iowa, and I think Iowa might have not even covered the worst number, too. They covered the better number and didn't cover the worst number. The difference of 3, man. 3 mattered in that game, so that pisses me off, too. Travis, have a good day as well. Yeah, let me know about the darts. I forget who you are on Twitter, but if you talk about darts, I'll know it's you. That's going to do it, everybody. Get some sleep. Hopefully I can, too, and let's get some wins tomorrow. I'll be back in the morning because I have to give you some baseball analysis in the morning and probably WNBA. Yeah, did they win outright, Missouri State? It wouldn't surprise me at all if they did because Marshall is fucking awful. There's no way they should have been favored like that. I wish I made that a play, man, because that line, it jumped out to me. It's like there's no fucking way Marshall should be favored like that. The professional money, I think, came in on Missouri State and drove the line down to about 9 off of the key number 10. Anyway, yes, let's get some sleep, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow if I'm still alive after I get very little sleep. Drinking more coffee. Peace, everybody.